I was 10 years old. My first experience of flying was watching Top Gun on TV. Maverick climbs into that cockpit and something clicked. Not just wanting to watch it, wanting to live it. The speed, the sky, the feeling of being completely above everything. Above all the noise, above the world. I couldn't tell you how many times I watched that film growing up. Dozens, maybe more. Every single time, the same feeling in my chest. Put me in that cockpit. Fast forward 29 years. On PS5 Pro, PSVR2, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And that 10-year-old finally got what he wanted. Everything he wanted. Every last bit of it. Before we get into this, some context. I'm not a flight sim person. I want to be clear about that. I'm a sim racer. Gran Turismo 7, Fanatec Wheel, PSVR2. That's my world. Over 2,200 hours in Gran Turismo 7 alone. That is the benchmark I measure everything against. So when the community voted for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, I was curious, not as a flight enthusiast, as someone who knows what proper VR immersion actually feels like. I know what it looks like when a sim gets VR right. I know the difference between looking into a world and living inside one. Those were my questions going into this. Does Microsoft Flight Simulator on PS5 Pro get VR right? Does the immersion hold up against what I know it can be? Or is it a visually impressive game that keeps you at arm's length? I genuinely didn't know what to expect. I fired it up in flat screen first, just to get my bearings, and even before PSVR 2, even on a flat screen, it stopped me in my tracks. Let's talk about flat screen first, because it genuinely deserves its own moment. On PS5 Pro, the visual detail is extraordinary. Not just impressive for a console, extraordinary full stop. The clouds aren't a texture on a skybox. They have depth, they have layers. You watch them move, build, change shape in real time. Weather systems forming on the horizon. Actual weather systems. I flew at sunrise, the sky going from black to deep blue and gold. Sunlight crawling slowly across the hills below me. On flat screen, that moment alone is genuinely beautiful. I flew at night, city lights below in a perfect grid. Stars clear above the cloud. The horizon glowing orange where a city sits beyond it. The aircraft models are meticulous. Every navigation light blinking on the wingtips. Every panel line catching the light at different angles. On flat screen, this is the best looking game that I've seen for flight on the PS5 Pro. Nothing else comes close right now. I was genuinely impressed before the headset even came out. And then I put the PSVR 2 on. Flat screen became a memory. The moment you load in with PSVR 2, you're sitting in a cockpit, not looking at one on a screen, you're actually sitting in one. And that difference, that is the entire conversation. I turned my head left, the wing was there. Turned right, the other wing. Looked down, my feet on the rudder pedals. Every single instrument in front of me, in a physical space. The altimeter, the airspeed indicator, the artificial horizon bar, all of them at arm's reach. All of them real. I sat completely still for about 30 seconds. Just looking around, taking everything in. Your brain, your actual brain tells you this is real. Not your imagination, your instincts. Every instinct says, don't lean too far forward. Every instinct braces when the aircraft banks. That is not a game response. That is a human response. I was not prepared for how strong that feeling was. In GT7 and PSVR2, the immersion comes through the hardware. The Fanatec wheel, the force feedback, that physical feedback is what sells the racing experience. Microsoft Flight Simulator has none of that. No wheel, no pedals, no base shakers, no telemetry data, just a controller, and somehow the immersion is just as complete. Because it's not about physical feedback here. It's about the world filling your entire field of vision. Your brain has no frame of reference to remind you it's a game. No television border, no screen edge, no bezel. There is just the world. I look straight up through the canopy. Pure sky above me. You don't look straight up at a television. You just look up and it's there. That moment, that single moment told me everything. Now, here's where Microsoft Flight Simulator does something Gran Turismo 7 simply cannot. The scale. The entire world is your map. Not a curated track list, not a selection of circuits. Every country, every continent, every airport on Earth, in a headset, right now. The scale of open ocean from a cockpit, it is genuinely humbling. No reference point, no edge to the world. It just goes. Then I turn back, drop to a low altitude, followed a glen, hills either side of a canopy. Close. I've driven those roads, I know those hills. Seeing them from a cockpit in PSVR2, completely different feeling. In Gran Turismo 7, the track is the boundary. In Microsoft Flight Simulator, there is no boundary. That concept doesn't land until you're inside it. And when it does, it hits all at once. Speaking of what Microsoft Flight Simulator does differently, let me talk about the weather. This is where it earns everything. I set a full storm system, heavy cloud, rain, turbulence, and flew directly into it. In PSVR2, that is a genuinely unsettling experience. In the best possible way, the cloud closes around you completely. White first, then grey, then dark. Visibility falls away, the aircraft starts to shake, your view shakes with it, and somewhere deep down something says, get out of this. But you push through, and when you break above the cloud layer, the sun is there, clear sky, absolute stillness, that silence above a storm. In VR is absolutely extraordinary. I have never experienced anything like it in gaming, not once. Gran Turismo 7 has dynamic weather. It looks brilliant on track, but what Microsoft Flight Simulator does is a completely different category. It doesn't simulate weather, it puts you inside it. And then, the reason why I'm really here, the Top Gun moment. I found an open stretch of desert at Miramar, just like the film. Clear sky above, low cloud on the horizon, perfect conditions. I climbed to a couple of 1,000 feet, checked my line, and pushed the nose down, hard. The ground rushed up, the altimeter winding down fast, speed building, the landscape filling the canopy, ground level, full throttle, coastline blurring past, and for 10 seconds, I was Maverick. Not imagining it, not pretending. Actually there, the physical sensation when you pull the nose back up, when the horizon swings below you to above you, your stomach responds, Your hands grip tighter, your breathing changes, everything in your body reacts as though it's real. I have never had that response from a game before. In 30 years of gaming, never. And in Gran Turismo 7 and PSVR2 is the best driving experience I've ever had. This is something different, completely different. 30 years watching that film, wanting to be in that cockpit, and PSVR2 put me there in 30 seconds. Now, is this replacing Gran Turismo 7? No, absolutely not. They're not competing for the same thing. Gran Turismo 7 is precision, technique, mastery of a machine. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is exploration, emotion, freedom. One makes you a better driver, the other makes you feel like a pilot. No wheel, no pedals, no base shakers. A standard controller is all you need. And I say that as someone with a full Fanatec rig. The controller is completely enough, because this isn't about mechanical feedback. It's about the world around you, the sky around you, the scale around you. PSVR2 delivers that completely. If you own a PSVR2 and a PS5 Pro, get this. Don't wait, don't overthink it. The world is sitting there ready for you. Any country, any weather, any aircraft, any time of day. All of it is there. I grew up watching Top Gun, dreaming about that cockpit, that sky, that feeling. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 gave me every bit of it. Every single bit. Let me know in the comments, where did you fly first? I'd genuinely love to know. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you in the next one. And remember, be free, be happy.